So let's just to complete the loop here, I'm going to log out as the teacher, and one last time, here's the student logging in, and this time she's going to see your comments. Here's Barb. All right. So we go up here, now to the grade book. So here's Barb, she has currently a grade of 96.8, which is an A. Here are a list of the assignments. Maybe I'm wondering if we can bring that in a little closer here. I don't know if you can see that, but a list of assignments, how many points possible. Here they can actually go and listen to the recordings and see the screenshots. So if they wanted to hear March of the Corn, click on that recording, and she could hear the comment. And if you wanted to see a screenshot, click on this. Also the screenshot would come up. Let's see, we'll go close that. But most importantly, here are your comments right over here that you've written back to that student. So the concept of distant learning, where you can actually be communicating with your kids, if you're not able to see them on an individual basis, what you want, you can really keep track of these. And when you're in the grade book, that's the kind of accountability that we hear many administrators like to see, that you're actually holding your students accountable, you're giving them a grade on a specific curriculum that you devised, and when mom and dad come in, you can open up that grade book and show them exactly what they're doing. In fact, for conferences, that's a perfect way of doing that, of opening that grade book up, and they can see precisely what you're doing. Let's see, let's get this back. Here we go. So, any questions about this part of it here? Yes, sir?
Can you link that to the clinical grade book that we use?
The question is, can you link that to your grade book? What we can do, let me open up, we can export the grade book in 3 common formats. Let me show you what that looks like here. Let me log in the grade book one last time here, and I'll show you what we can do. So come back in. There we go. So we are now in the grade book, and right over here where it says export, can you see that right there? Maybe we can bring that in a little bit tighter. Right, export, if I click on that, you'll see these are the formats that you can select. The Excel format, tab delimiter, comma separated, and then it opens up and you can pick which categories you want to export that in. And if your grading program allows import in any of those formats, absolutely. And what we also found that there is no one grade book in the United States that represents more than 13% of teacher use out there. There are many diverse ones. And we are happy to work with any particular grade book company that wants to, if we want, we're set to go. We're ready to export them in the format they want. So just to kind of let you know.
My biggest problem was setting the calendar. Just not able for it to set quarters.
Yes?
And I get the year, and the semesters, and the quarters, and I just couldn't get it. That's the same problem.
So the setup.
I was frustrated. I called in about it, and we still were not able to.
So why don't we talk afterwards? I can walk you through all there. Just to let you know, how do we set all this stuff? How do we do that? And I know our time is very limited here with this kind of webcast going on. But I'm now going to smartmusic.com. This is our home website. And over here under support, the third item down says Quick Start Videos. Right down here under Assignments for Educators, and we can bring that in a little bit tighter. Gradebook Setup. If you watch that, it's about 10 minutes long. It shows you what you do. It's really easy to do, but if you see it once, that's great. And then right down here, how do you enroll students in that? It's about 5 minutes long. It tells you how the students enroll in the gradebook. The single biggest question I often get is, does every student need to have a home subscription to do this? And the answer is no. It's far more convenient if they do, but as long as you have a computer or two at school that they can use to enroll in the gradebook and to practice and submit their assignments, everyone in your group can be part of this whole program. So that's certainly the number one question that we hear once people kind of understand what this is all about. If any more questions of this in general, because what I would like to do, I think we just have about 10 minutes left, and I would like to show you other parts of the program, because I've really just touched the top. Yes?
I'm guessing you could probably use some of these for auditioning for scenes or for
Yes.
Solos?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
Just graded the same way that you would grade an assignment?
Yes, just keep in mind that the assessment works for all of the concert repertoire. It works for all the exercises, which I'm going to show you here in a second. It works for all the method books. But for the solo repertoire, we don't have the on-screen assessment for solo repertoire.
Okay.
That actually predates a little bit of the smart music assessment capabilities we have. That essentially goes back to the 1990s with a program called Vivace, which was all solo repertoire. And our license enables us to have the accompaniments for those, but not music on screen.
So can a student play, record themselves with the microphone with no background, no track, no music?
Yes, and they can
Still submit it as, let's say, an audition?
Yes, and they can also submit a recording themselves playing with accompaniment. That's fine. It's just the music's not on screen. That's all. But you can make an assignment of any repertoire in here. You can make an assignment of.
And they can record themselves just.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything you can record. You can record. These are the 5 groups, and typically this is how I start a demonstration. But being that we had a wonderful band to follow with that particular piece, I wanted to start on that aspect. But here are the 5 types of repertoire. Here are all the solo repertoire, the exercises, the band methods, the jazz improvisation, and the concert repertoire. And what I should let you know is you're one of about a dozen states that has given us your contest list for not only solo ensemble, for our concert repertoire. So, for example, under the concert repertoire, if you went over here in category and said, I want band and orchestra titles, and then click on, can you see there are more search options right there? If you go in there, and you can actually pick the state you want. So clearly we're going to pick Florida. And then once it loads up here, you can pick one of the levels. So let's say we pick level 6. We click on search, and then you're going to see a list. There are 62 of these. There's a number right up there. There are 62 titles, either mainly at advanced or medium advanced level. And any of these that you can be doing that are on your list. The same thing applies for solo repertoire. So if you go in here, let me start the same thing, but I will start from the concept of a solo rather than a concert repertoire. Click on more search options. And let's go down here to the Florida list as well. Again, going on to Florida. And let's pick something like level 5. Click on search. Now I could have also picked an instrument like flute or oboe or whatever, and we would have got a very concise list. This, it says up here at the top there, 151. If you click on the title heading of instrument, it'll now sort by instrument, so then you can quickly look. It goes alphabetical, not score order, and there are 4 pages of these. These are all solos that are on your state list. There's a great look at it, all of the, for clarinet, for trumpet, goes on to page 2. These are all the solos that you've told us about. So let me quickly show you a little bit of the solo. Are any of you using solo repertoire with smart music? A few of you are. Let me quickly show you what you can do with that. And I've selected just a few here that I can take very quickly. What I want to do, about 10% of the solos we have on screen. They're not accessible, but mainly because they're in public domain, they're Baroque titles. So I think I can tell the story very well that, and then show you how it looks without it on screen. What happens is when you first open up a solo, our company has made the assumption that the student knows the solo. And by that I mean we have a feature called intelligent accompaniment, which says it's listening to you right away. This may not be the best way to do that, because when you hit play, you'll notice a message up here coming that says it's waiting for me to play the first note, which happens to be an A. And it won't start, it's in the interactive mode until it hears that note. And on it goes. Now, I need to tell you this. In here, you'll notice if I open this up, it listens on a scale of 0 to 10, and this is the most misunderstood part of solo repertoire in smart music. So if I can just have your, hang in there with me for one more minute. If it's set to 0, it's not listening to you at all. If it's set to 10, it's really listening to you, and frankly very dangerous for kids because they have to be leaders. They have default settings. But just let's go show you what 10 is like though, so you understand why it is dangerous. And if the kids are really good, let them go. But I'll show you what happens. It's now going to follow me. give that to your kids? No way, no way. So, what I recommend is the default setting is a good target, but up here it says television accompaniment on, turn that off, and now it's just going to play the tempo that's up here at 120. This is a great place for them to start. Maybe turn the solo part on, and they can hear it. If they need to slow it down, they can, for practice purposes. Maybe you want to turn the accompaniment off so you just hear the solo. Maybe you'd like to add a click. If you're having trouble with a particular passage, click on the through right here. Let's say we want to do measures 3 and 4. It's going to start at measure 3. I want it to go to measure 4 before. We've now created a loop. They can just practice that loop, that technical passage. I'll put the accompaniment in. I'll slow it down. I'm going to hit the down arrow key. Slow it down. Let me get rid of that click. Get rid of the solo part. So they're practicing, they can move the tempo back up. And when they get to the place where they're doing pretty well, a perfect time to go in there and see and record them. So when I have the intelligent accompaniment turned off, so when I hit play, I'll get 4 clicks, and just let the student hear themselves, and they can fix a lot of those things that we are asking to be fixing all the time. They can hear it. So I'll just do a little bit here. Hit record. Stop. Here you go. Take a listen, just like you heard when I was using the grade book. And should you want to, we're not in the grade book at all, but if you wanted to save this, click on save. It'll save it as an MP3, put the student's name on that, save it in your desktop. If you got a CD, you want to burn it on a CD. If you want to create a portfolio for your student, if you want to take that attachment, email it to grandma at Christmas time. How fun would it be to take a beginning band song for someone who's just starting out, play Mary Had a Little Lamb or whatever, save that, email it to grandma. What a treat that could be for them. They will love you forever. All these things you can do right in here.